G'day, welcome to Goat Fantasy. It's the St Kilda Team Photo Day edition. Nice to have you with us. Goat Fantasy brought to you by checkmyrate.au. Visit the website. It's free to use. Take control of your financial future. Get yourself a better home loan rate. So, Goat Fantasy goes to St Kilda's Team Photo Day. So not an opportunity to watch them train, but an ability and an opportunity to observe and to ask some questions, particularly of Marcus Windhager, and I spoke to Machito Owens as well. Just so you know, special guest on the podcast today, and that is Max, my 5-year-old son. This is a whole new world. He is on his little play mat. He's looking at me, a little confused as to what's going on. But if you hear a small child cry out, the reason is because Max is here with me. So there's always questions of every team, but there's a lot that we're thinking about with St Kilda. The early bye doesn't help in terms of our preparation for salary cap this season, but in draft and with a new team, that's going to be contending this season, there's some questions to answer. And so Tom de Koning, I think, is front of mind in terms of, is he going to have a big year? Is he the number one ruck? What's Rowan Marshall going to do? How is that partnership going to affect both of them? Probably makes them both unpickable from certain perspectives in salary cap, but do you take the risk in draft? So from what we've seen so far, it looks like that Tom de Koning is the number one ruck, and there's been some whispers about Marshall spending some time in the back half. I mean, that's not unusual because he is so mobile, but it's a forward line position for the other ruckman, and if all things being equal, you'd think that de Koning is slightly going to edge out Marshall in terms of time spent in the middle. So Sam Flanders is someone who we've spent a lot of time thinking about already. Forward status, really nicely priced, and the opportunity at a new club. Speaking to a couple of the boys today, inside midfield minutes, and here's something that just pricked up my ears. A little bit of time at half back. Pretty sure that season that he had where he was dominant at the Suns a couple of years ago, he was the half-back distributor for the Suns before Damien Hardwick arrived. So the possibility of mixing some half-back time with some inside midfield time, that is fantasy perfection. Points guaranteed. I think he's going to be a really safe pick for us this season. Sam Flanders. Nasiah, from all reports, it doesn't feel like he could get much better than he was in the second half of last season. He showed it. He's got the best ceiling in fantasy football. The Saints are expecting extra attention for him, particularly as they start winning more games this season, but also he has been a class above so far this preseason, certainly having a really big summer. Darcy Wilson garnered some attention because of that photo that got posted where he just looked absolutely jacked, so dropped in the second half of last season. His role is the big thing we need to look out for, but from an athletic, an aerobic, physical perspective, not only does he look great, I was just looking at all the PBs and the club leaders for all the different things you can do in the gym, and also physical exploits in games. Darcy Wilson was at a lot. He was winning a lot of them, or he was in the top 3 of a lot of those things. So clearly, an absolute beast athletically, just needs everything else to click. Perhaps this is the year that it does for him. We spoke to Marcus Windhager, and he spoke really well. Really impressive guy. He's always been a really great physical specimen. I think the Saints have always kind of known they got a good one when they picked him up. But second half of last year through the midfield, his scoring just went through the roof. He had a couple of massive games. He said today that at the moment he's splitting time between halfback and an inside midfielder. That again screams as a pretty juicy fantasy role. He's not going to be one of our top-end premiums. And the early buy means it would be a big risk to have him in salary cap, but just one to keep an eye on in draft. And then the other one is Mateus Filippo, who I just feel like we just need more data. We need to see him in practice games to get a real understanding of his role and how physically ready he is to be a gun AFL player. All the talent in the world, and that small sample size we got a couple of years ago of him in the midfield was really promising, but this is a different team. Time has passed. So let's just wait on Filippo to see what role he has. That's all I've got for you from a St Kilda perspective, short and sharp today. A bunch of teams are training tomorrow, so I reckon we'll have some more information out of a couple of clubs to bring to you. Keep following along on Goat Fantasy, of course, brought to you by checkmyrate.au. Check out the Instagram as well, There'll be reels, there'll be content, Twitter, of course, as always. Tell your friends, get involved. Massive pre-season coming your way at GoFans.